I want to introduce you to this document, and it's called The Expectations for Police Custody, the criteria for assessing the treatment of and conditions for detainees in police custody. This was first introduced for England and Wales in 2015, and there's also comparable documents for Northern Ireland and Scotland. This is what it looks like. Now, as of June of 2022, the fourth version was produced, and it's a key document to look at. In effect, it's the job specification for all custody staff. Yet through my dealings with various cases, staff don't always know that this document exists. So what I would encourage people to do is actually have a look at this document and see what it says. And I've just highlighted a few little pieces that I want to discuss, which links into some of the other YouTube footage that we've got out there. But when we look at the index, we've got section 1 is about leadership in custody, what should be in existence. So that covers things like staffing levels. Section 2 is pre-custody, first point of contact. Certainly since 2006, when the safer detention and handling of detained persons in police custody was introduced, custody brought into play that initial contact and the point of arrest and everything associated with that. So when I'm dealing with safer custody cases, it's everything from that initial contact, because once the person is arrested or detained, that person then is a detainee and subject to certain legal safeguards. So there's a section on first point of contact, and for example what that looks at is, I just want to highlight one of the aspects there. It's about frontline officers receive relevant and timely information from call handlers and dispatchers to help them assess an individual's risk and vulnerability. So it brings in everyone from the call handling aspect as well, and looking at, have they conducted their role in relation to identification of the threat, the harm, the risk to others, and also then looking at deployment strategies. Are enough staff going? Are staff informed of any vulnerabilities? Have the call handlers asked relevant questions? So it brings in all of this information from the very start. Section 3 is about the actual physical custody suite. So we've got several pages in relation to the criteria there, and there's just a couple of bits that I want to highlight. For example, detainees' rights and entitlements. Now, we've got a separate video on YouTube about the rights and entitlements, but again it's also mentioned in here that all detainees are given a copy of their rights and entitlements, that physical copy. There's several pages there in relation to what needs to happen within the custody suite. Then section 4 looks at in custody cell, the safeguarding and the healthcare provision. And as we move on, section 5 in relation to release and transfer, so that also looks at issues around the pre-release risk assessment, and that the risk assessment is supposed to occur before the person actually leaves custody. And often I see that the release risk assessment is recorded and conducted post-release, and those risk assessments need to happen while the person is still detained, to ensure that the appropriate safeguards are involved. So if you're involved in any way in relation to custody cases, or you work in custody, whether you're the custody sergeant, custody inspector, detention officer, the healthcare professional, this is a key document for the England and Wales, but then there's comparable documents for Scotland and Northern Ireland. You know, have a look at this, because in effect this is the assessment criteria of what your unit will be assessed upon. And as usual, have a look at the other videos that we've got on YouTube and that we've got coming over, you know, the next few weeks and months. If you subscribe, then you'll be notified as we release more. Or alternatively, contact us direct and we'll be happy to give you any answers. Thank you.